There may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode number 131, I believe, of Tailgate Talks. This episode is always sponsored by Defrisher Recycling and Junk Removal. Without further ado, let's get right to the episode. We want to have a very warm welcome for our guest on the show today, Robby Incmikoski. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Very excited to have you.
What's happening, guys? My pleasure.
It's exciting time. We got ourselves a playoff bracket, rapid fire. Believe it or not, with the total picks, Alex and Haley tied with that still. But in terms of the other tiebreaker, Alex is out of the playoffs no matter what happens.
No revenge tour for me here.
Yeah, Steelers won, so that's good.
And Pitt didn't make the tournament for the playoffs football, so here we go.
Okay. Yeah, it's a running gag on this show because for March Madness a year ago, Pitt got snubbed. 2 years ago, got snubbed, and I still think they got snubbed from that tournament. And it's been a running joke ever since. But they suck this year. I don't know. They just lost to some random team from Illinois. Or no, not Illinois, New York. Mind-boggling.
Pitt basketball is just struggling. Women lost to like a Division III program or something.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, this is where Alex shuts up for like 20-25 minutes because, of course, with Robby here, why wouldn't we talk about the Buccos? First of all, we told Robby this beforehand. This is just crazy for us because we remember watching 13 through all the playoff years and all the way up to, you said 2023?
Yep.
Watching the Buccos and stuff. But I guess the first thing, because I think Bryce and I are especially curious about this, was just the overall vibes 2013 through 15 with the playoff years. Like, it's something I'll never forget, even I know I was a kid at the time, but it's just like playoff baseball in Pittsburgh was just a different animal. Like, how was it for you being the broadcast side of things, seeing things going around with, of course, the core with McCutcheon, Garrett Cole, even AJ Burnett for, I believe, 13 and 15. I think he was on the Phillies for 14. And of course, who could forget Pedro Alvarez? Just those. What was the vibes for you like watching all of this go down in 13 through 15?
You know, it was amazing, Mike. It was an amazing experience, and what made it even cooler was getting the feel throughout the season in 2013 when they got off to a good start and they kind of sustained it for a while, but it almost felt like people were waiting for the other shoe to drop and for them to collapse. Now, I don't like using the word collapse because I know they had a hard time in 2011 and a hard time in 2012 closing it out and getting through the finish line and getting a winning record. Obviously, that did not happen. But what was cool was when we were in Texas the night they won their 81st game. It was a 1-0 game, Garrett Cole against Yu Darvish. And the Pirates snapped that streak of 20 consecutive losing seasons. You knew they were going to have a winning season, obviously, because it was in August. So you knew, they were still, or late August, I believe, or maybe it was early September. I can't remember when it was. But anyways, the point is they were going to win at least one more game. They were going to win at least 82 on the year, right? So it was kind of like a collective exhale, I guess I would say, that everybody had as a fan base. And then when the wild card game began, actually before it began, I was on Federal Street meeting my friends and having drinks and having a good time. And I really felt that that was when you really felt it was at that wild card game. It felt like 20 years of frustration as fans. And then 2014 was a good year. 2015 was obviously an excellent year. They ran into two buzzsaws in the wild card game. 2014 Mad Bum, arguably the greatest run I'd have to do some type of comparison. I've never seen a better individual pitching performance in a playoffs in my life than what Mad Bum did in 2014 for the Giants. And it was unfortunate the Pirates ran into that in the wild card game. And then 2015 they ran into Jake Arrieta, who was on fire. So, but what was it like? It was amazing because you got to see just how big a baseball town Pittsburgh is, and it still is to this day. And that was really cool to experience the true joy that fans felt in their team winning baseball games. And it was cool for me to see because I got a little taste of it with the Minnesota Twins when I was there in 2009 and 2009 to 12. I was there, but in 10 and 11, they won the American League Central. And that was a lot of fun. I saw the Phillies in 08. I grew up in Philadelphia. I got to see what that run was like, in 07 when they won the division for the first time in forever. And then in 08. It was just a cool experience. And obviously the rest of the years they had a hard time. They had a winning record in 18, but they weren't real competitive for a playoff spot. But, they have been back there since. So should this team, and I do think they have what it takes in 2026 to make a run. When you have the greatest pitcher on the planet, you have a chance because that can drive the other four guys to be better. Then you got Jared Jones. Yeah, he's probably coming back, after the All-Star break or whatever. You got Bubba Chandler, you got Mitch Keller, you have a pretty good bullpen. I mean, they've got some good arms. They're trotting out every day on the mound to start games. So I would love to see this town buzz again for baseball like they did those 3 years.
Me too.
Absolutely. I mean, and I know it's been the talk of a little bit. I haven't heard about it in a while, but it was for at least the start of the offseason. Do you think we will be talking about Mitch Keller as a Bucko once the pitchers and catchers report?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors that go into that. People say yes, they're definitely going to trade him, but I mean, look at teams that have won, and then look at their rotation. If you got Skeens and Keller 1-2, or Skeens and Chandler 1-2-3 with Keller, or you got Harrington, Ashcraft. You got, I don't know who else I'm forgetting right now. They traded Oviedo, but you get my point here. And that is that, you could win low scoring games at a couple bats. You can win high scoring games, but every fifth day with Skeens on the mound, you're getting at the absolute minimum, stone cold minimum, 5 innings of 1-run, 2-run ball. And you get to the 6th inning, and it's 2-0 or 2-1, winning or losing, you have a chance to win the game. You just do every single night. So don't underestimate how valuable starting pitchers are. And he's on what appears to be a very reasonable contract for the productivity you get from a 2-time All-Star like Mitch Keller. So will he be a Bucko? I have no idea. I mean, I don't know. I'd be making a fool of myself if I were to speculate. But could they turn that into bats? Maybe that's something you have to think about if you have depth in your rotation. So will he be a Pirate? I don't know. Do I hope he's a Pirate? Yes, because that man deserves to win in black and gold. I'll tell you that much. Because he's been through some real hard times with this organization as an organization. And he's been through some real hard times personally. He's been able to overcome them. And he works his ass off. And I really like Mitch a lot. And I hope he has success. And I hope he does it in a Bucko uniform. And I hope he helps lead him to a playoff spot.
Yeah. Bryce, you got any questions?
I mean, I was just going to say, add on to something that he said a while back. I mean, I remember 2013, they lose to the Cardinals in the NLDS, I believe.
Yep, it was. Yep.
And I remember that offseason, because my dad's Pirates fan. A lot of people where we live are Pirates fans for the most part. Not as many as you'd think, but most of them are. And I remember it was right around opening day. I believe they opened with the Cardinals in 2014, or not the Cardinals, the Cubs in 2014. I'll verify that as I talk real quick. And I remember going to the opening day game, and the stadium's absolutely packed because they had just made it to the playoffs. All these fans from everywhere are in.
It was the Cubs. Remember Neil Walker hit the homer.
Yep, you're right. Because I remember I was sitting there next to a Cubs fan that drove from Chicago, and then in front of me was a family that drove all the way from, I want to say, Southern West Virginia. Their trip was I think they said 4 hours to get there for opening day. And he's like, I'm never missing this. And it was just such a surreal moment to be there during that run. I mean, I think I actually still have my ticket somewhere in a box in my closet, I'm sure,
Right.
because I was 12 at that time. So it was awesome.
Mhm.
But my first question I have for you, and we'll just make it kind of simple just to get everything out there. You know, you've been with the Pirates for 12 years, or were with the Pirates for 12, almost 13
11,
years.
yep, 11, yep.
11, okay. So during that tenure, you saw a lot of players and a lot of different guys come in and out of the program. Who was, in your opinion, the biggest what if player during that time that could have been something great that either didn't pan out or he was traded early? Like in your eyes, who was like the biggest what if player?
Well, I'm not going to name guys by name because that's not fair to them, because there's so many factors that go into why a guy pans out or doesn't pan out. I just don't think that's fair to them. Um, but I think some of them are obvious, like when in terms of like people that were picked high, but things happen for different reasons. Um, you know, sometimes there are mitigating factors as to why something doesn't go right for a particular player. It could be something on the end of the organization that happens. You just never know. I mean, there's a lot of those, and then there are a lot of guys who you don't expect to perform well, and they end up being stars. I mean, guys come out of nowhere, they get drafted low, and they end up having a fruitful, productive career. Whether some with the Pirates, some elsewhere. I mean, it happens, but yeah, in terms of like what if guys, I mean, there've been a lot, man. I mean, sometimes in terms of development, development goes wrong or something goes wrong with these, whether the player, maybe scouting wasn't on par like it should have been. I mean, stuff happens for so many different reasons, and a lot of people behind the scenes, I don't think, realize how much goes into making a player good or great, you know. I mean, it happens all around. I don't mean to dodge your question. I'm just not going to call out anybody by name because nobody takes it harder than those guys do if you're a high pick or a high prospect or get a lot of hype and don't pan out. But one example I can use is Mitch Keller, right? Mitch Keller was a minor league player of the year, second round pick coming out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa, drafted out of high school, came through the Pirate system the whole way. And he got his ass kicked when he came up and he struggled. He had a bad ERA. He had bad outings. And I would stick a microphone in his face with a camera after every game, and he was just out of answers, and I felt horrible. But I knew he was good, and I knew he could be good, and I knew this guy had all-star potential. And then all of a sudden, it clicked, and he became a two-time all-star. And it getting was $77 million, whatever it is. But this guy can contribute to a winner. So I think you see it on both sides, Bryce, to be honest with you, And Keller's a great example. He was a what if, and people said, oh, God, give up, trade him, get rid of him. He stinks. Well, no, maybe you just need to make a tweak and you can unlock that potential. And I'm so happy that it's happened. I mean, that's the guy, we obviously just talked about. But I think you understand the point that I'm trying to make is there are so many things that go into development, productivity, that kind of stuff. Sometimes it pans out and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, I completely get your answer. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could tell because I forget what year it was, but I was at an Altoona Curve game, and this is when Mitch Keller and Cole Tucker were down in Double A at the time. And for some reason, I don't know why I didn't get a pick. I just wasn't thinking. But of course, when you're a kid and you see these guys, you're like so scared to ask for an autograph. That's just how it goes. But I could tell you when I asked for Mitch for an autograph, couldn't be nicer. Like, he's so
nice.
God,
yeah. Great guy.
Nice.
He's a wonderful guy. He was raised well, two great parents. He and his brother John are extremely close. Brother John made it up to Double A in the Orioles organization. So it really is and these guys are brought up well. They come up through the system. They're learned to be fan friendly and they treat people well. They treat their teammates well for the most part. I mean, yeah, you get a couple bad eggs every now and then. I mean, that stuff happens, and that happens in every facet of life, right? Like whether you're in corporate office, accounting, finance, business, restaurants, you name it. I mean, it happens all over the place. So baseball's no different. But by and large, man, that's how these guys come up through the system, and they know how to treat the fans, and they know how to treat, treat everybody in their local communities.
Yeah. I've got one more question that I wrote down on paper that I didn't, when I was working through this today, trying to figure out what I wanted to ask. So you were with the Twins. for a number of years, and the Rangers, and with the Pirates for the longest. And you've been probably to a number of other baseball stadiums. Is PNC in the top three of all of them?
Best. No, PNC's the best.
Yeah.
I wrote a book on all 30 baseball stadiums with photos that I took from each place. It's called Sacred Grounds, and I have pictures. I'll show you the cover page real quick because this has photos that I took. One photo that I've taken of each. Wow. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Each of the 30 stadiums right there. So PNC's the best. I love Baltimore because it's remained so cool through the years. It's kind of timeless. Its charm is unmatched. But PNC Park aesthetically is the best ballpark in baseball. San Francisco is beautiful. I love Kansas City that has the fountains. Cleveland has a nice ballpark. I mean, San Diego. There are a lot of beautiful places in baseball. And ballparks really can connect a city, a baseball team to its city. And that's what I did in the book. So, yeah, PNC Park's the best. No doubt about it. No question.
I mean, it's iconic whenever you have, College game day comes to Pitt Notre Dame and they set up with the yellow bridges in the background, and still you can kind of see and know where PNC is off to the side. And I mean, even just getting on the broadcast, seeing the yellow bridges in the background, the beautiful city, it's just, I agree with you. I think it's number one, but since you've been to far more stadiums than I have, I wanted to ask you your thought.
He's been to a little bit more stadiums than I was going to say.
I think I've been to Camden Yards and Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I've been to Petco. At the time it was Miller Park in Milwaukee. That was nice.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if there's any other. I was at the Diamond. I was at Chase Field, but it was in the off season, and there was a restaurant still connected, working during the off season in there. But yep. I was there. But yeah, and I always jokingly say too. I said once they got done with PNC Park, I swear for Heinz Field they just put it together. They just said, just put it right here.
It's a beautiful place, man. It is unmatched. It is unmatched.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so for last thing for Pirate wise, of course, right now the winter meetings are underway. First of all, what's your thoughts on Don Kelly? I think it seems like a lot of the players they want to play for him, and I thought it was the right hire because he did have a winning record once he was named the interim manager, right? Once Sheldon was let go.
I think so. I got to look it up, but it's probably pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
I know he did at one point. I'm going to actually check right now. Let's see, Don Kelly. Yeah. I'm going to get it for you right now. 59 and 65, so he's 6 games under. But close enough, but still.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But I still think it was the right hire, making him the.
Absolutely.
The manager.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he's the guy. You look at Donnie Kelly. He is a guy that who had to work his tail off to carve out the career that he did in the big leagues, right? Guy played every position. He was never a star. He's a guy that always had to work hard, make himself available, defensive replacement, pinch runner, whatever it is. And guys can relate to that because there are a lot more of your guys who are like Don Kelly than there are like Andrew McCutchen, who are just stars that can step in and take command of a team like Kutch did, or like Paul Skeens is doing right now, So I think he's a great hire. He is a wonderful guy. He's so beloved by everybody around him that I don't see any way that he does not succeed. When you have his combination of knowledge in the game of baseball, Jim Leland was his manager. He learned from a Hall of Fame manager who's won multiple World Series. He is as good a guy as they come. And I think he's going to do really well in a Pirates uniform as the head boss there.
Yeah, for sure. But of course, it's hard to predict what's going to happen next season. I mean, 2 years ago, I said in 23, 24 was going to be the years we compete, and I was sorely mistaken. Though in 23 they did start off 20-9, so I get it. But of course, the expectations, you're going to ask the average Pirate fan, they're going to say they're low. What are your expectations for this team going into this next year? Of course, there's a lot of frustration, but I think, like you said, you have Skeens, you have a lot of core guys that are there. It's there. It's just a matter of producing it on the field. So what are your thoughts going into the 2026 season? And are you confident that this team can finally get over the hump and we can
I
start
am.
bringing playoff
I
baseball back to Pittsburgh?
I am, yeah. And here's why. I think coming out of spring training, I think at spring training, Donnie is going to really work at, first of all, playing the game hard.
Mhm.
That matters. Play the game hard. Compete. Make the other team beat you. If they beat you, okay, but make them beat you. Don't beat yourself, right? Sometimes that just happens, right? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's just that's the nature of sports in general, right? Sometimes you got to simplify that and realize sometimes the other team likes nice cars, nice houses, and being millionaires too, just like this team, right? So that happens. The Pirates last year, I felt like made a lot of mental errors early in the season, and that should not happen. That was the first kind of alarm bell that went off, was some of the mistakes they made that were controllable, taking extra base, running out of ground ball, getting a good read on the ball, just certain things. And I think Donnie's going to really drill down on those fundamentals in spring training. I think they're going to come out and play more fundamentally sound baseball, throwing to the right base. There's so many little things that matter in baseball that could impact the game and could cause you either win a game or lose a game. And they lost a lot of games early in the season in that matter. And I think they're going to avoid that with Donnie. That's first reason why. Second reason, Paul Skeens. He's the greatest pitcher on the planet. That's not to be argued. You got that guy going out every fifth day. You get a chance to win every 20% of your games. You have a really good chance to win. Okay, good rotation. That rubs off on guys. Guys see how Paul Skeens works. They see his work between starts. They're going to follow that. They're going to see that model. Paul hasn't been a real vocal guy yet. It doesn't appear, at least from the outside. I don't know Paul. I've never worked with him. 2023, my last year, was when he was drafted, and everybody was really excited, and he's obviously lived up to that hype, and I think he's going to be dominant again next year. Number two, I think Brian Reynolds is going to have a better year, and I think they're going to add a batter too, and they have a new pitching coach. They've got, Matt Haig has kind of come up through the system as a Pirate. He knows how they operate. I think they're going to develop better. I think you got Connor Griffin, who's going to be a great player. I think he's going to be really good. He's very well-centered, down-to-earth kid. You can just tell talking to him. I know a couple people from his neighborhood where he grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, and they love him. They love his family. I just think they're going to be a more competitive team, and they're going to play better baseball from start to finish next year. And I think they're going to have a chance. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. I'm just telling you, they play fundamentally sound baseball. They do the right thing. The right things day in and day out. They play the game hard, and they cut down on the mental errors. They're going to be in position to push for a playoff spot. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. And I always said too, like, even though he had a down year last year, I still trust a bat in Brian Reynolds' hands. He's been consistently one of our best hitters since he was on the team in 2019. Of course, couple down years. 2020, I throw 2020 out the window with the 60 games and COVID.
I think everybody does, yeah.
But yeah, is my excitement there? I don't want to say it. I really want. It's like I really want to be excited. Trust me, I do. Everybody does, but it's just we're gonna have to wait and see. The pieces are there, but we will definitely see.
Certainly are.
I've got one more question, a light question, not even really so much about the Pirates, more about the stadium, of course.
Yeah.
You're with the Pirates for so long. You've probably been to every seat in the stadium. What's your favorite spot to see the game and maybe see the city and all that other stuff?
So that's a great question. And this is what I tell people. It depends. Are you going to pay attention to the game, or you're going for the experience? That's the first thing I ask. If you're going to pay attention to the game, you're going to want to sit a little lower. So I would say sit behind home plate somewhere on the first deck. But if you're going just to take in the ballpark, or you're going to see all 30 ballparks and you come to Pittsburgh, I tell people to sit in the 300 level up top behind home plate, because you can see everything. You can see the bridge, you can see the river, you can see the game, you can see the scoreboard, you can see the fans, you can see the river walk. It is an amazing, gorgeous place. I have been pretty much to almost every seat in that whole stadium. And I don't think there is a bad view. I like hanging high at top right field, because you can look down the Allegheny and you can see the bridges. You can see downtown. There is not a bad seat in that whole place. I've stood up on the rotunda with my buddies that are the renegades of the rotunda. It's a beautiful place, and it is unmatched all across baseball, Bryce. Absolutely. So you're right. You ask a great question. If you're going to pay attention to the baseball, behind home plate, lower level. If you're taking the experience, section 320, 318, 317. So anywhere between like 315, 321, somewhere around there.
Yeah. I mean, I know for me, I like to sit on that third baseline where the seats are pointed like right at second base. So I can turn and kind of see the outfield, but not have to turn so much to see home plate. Usually speaking, though, I'm somewhere over by the Dippin' Dots because that's one of the only reasons my girlfriend goes with me. So
right. That
that's
happens, man. It's okay. The pulled pork pierogi hoagie and all the other good food that they have there, they do a great job with it, man. They really do.
Yeah. I'm working on getting her more involved in baseball. I've gotten far. You know, we got away from the Dippin' Dots last year. I'm hoping this next year we can get behind home plate and, you know, understand a double play and what 6 + 4 + 3 means.
Yeah. Yep. Well, one step at a time, Bryce. One step at a time, brother.
Yeah, no, I normally like down low a little more when I'm trying to watch the game, but I will say when I sit up high, I love it every time there's a fly ball to the outfield because you think it's a home run every single time, and it's not even close sometimes.
Yeah. Yep. That happens frequently. I see that in every ballpark every night.
Yeah,
Just judging the fly balls that they think are homers.
Yeah, no, it's good, but yeah. So now Alex can come back into the conversation. So if he's not frozen, he's looking.
I gave it a shot to switch over. We're gonna see how it goes. But if not, I'll switch back to my phone. It's fine.
Oh man, but yeah. So do we want to do the bracket thing last, or do we want to do that right now?
I'd say do it now and do rapid fire last.
Okay.
Yeah, I concur that.
But so just like last year, we're gonna go through the brackets. I'm gonna read off the bracket real quick. Of course, the first round buys, the buys went to Texas Tech, Indiana. No surprise there. Sorry, Alex. Sorry. Alex is a big Ohio State fan. That's why I say that. So, and then Georgia
Embarrassment.
and Ohio State did also get a bye. They just are not the number 1 seed. And then, of course, the other games are James Madison and Oregon. Let's go James Madison. Alabama and Oklahoma. I don't understand the Alabama one at all, but here we are. Tulane and the team that does not have a head coach because he left for LSU, Ole Miss. And then Miami and Texas A&M. The only things that I question is Alabama and Miami. I know we were having the conversation in our group chat. Robby, what do you think about this bracket? I mean, I could get past Miami being in. I do think they had a slight edge over Notre Dame. Just because, of course, Miami won the beginning of the year. Alabama, that one goes over my head. I don't really understand that one too well. But all I know is that I am hoping for Tulane and James Madison in the national championship.
Could you imagine?
Oh,
imagine James Madison goes on a run. Holy smokes! No way.
I personally would love if they beat the Buckeyes. That would be the greatest day of my life.
I want Indiana to win it all. That's who I want. I love Kurt Signetti. He's a Pittsburgh guy. I've got some close friends that are very tight with Kurt. I love how he's made that program relevant. I love just the way he talks, how authentic and genuine a guy he is. So are you asking me for who I think is going to make a run? Is this my prediction time?
I was asking you what do you think about the overall bracket? We'll go through each round.
Yeah.
Who do we think's going to predict?
Yeah, I mean, look, what was it? What was it? 8 last year, right? They expanded, I think, from 8 to 12, right? Is that what it was? I believe it was 8 because they had a couple. Or was it? It's 12 this year. This is the first year. It's 12, right? I'm almost positive.
No, this is the second year. It was 12 last year as well. They went straight from the team format to the 12-team playoff. Yeah.
The thing that changed was the 4 highest conference champions got first round buys outside of the G5 school, which was the 12 seed.
Oh, got you.
So, like, for example, this year Duke would have made it in last year because they were the conference champion of the ACC.
Right. I mean, if you're talking about 12 versus 13, I think the debate is already over. I mean, who in the NHL or NBA is discussing teams 13, 14, 15, and 16? Doesn't happen often. Now it happens, they make it. LA Kings, 2012, I think they were they just barely got in the playoffs and made it to the Stanley Cup final and won the Stanley Cup. So, it happens. But I mean, last year I think we saw SMU get their doors blown in the first round. Then we saw a couple blowouts early on, and
Almost the first round game.
Madison against Oregon. I don't know what that spread is, but are they going to win by 30?
The spread is 21.
Okay, so they're gonna. So if the spread is 21, they're trying to bait you. My guess is they're trying to bait you into taking the 21, and they're going to lose by 40, right? I mean, and that's not a knock on James Madison. I don't like ripping programs or ripping teams. These people work extremely hard, so I don't prefer doing that. But what I am saying is that, we're going to have some non-competitive games. And what's the other one? Is JMU,
Ole Miss Tulane.
Oh, Tulane. That I don't know what the spread is on that one. There, but everything Tulane's been through. So yeah, you're talking about 13th and 14th best team getting in. Can any team they compete with Ohio State or Indiana? I don't think so. But again, that's why they play the games on the field, and why my opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, they certainly. I don't think there's a single person on the planet that can say that those two teams aren't the two best teams in the country. By the way, so that spread you were saying for Ole Miss Tulane, that's a 16.5 point spread in a rematch from earlier in the regular season where Ole Miss won by 35. So you want to talk about bait?
Right. So it's going to be an absolute destruction that we're going to see in those first couple games.
Now I got to say, Tulane is one of my favorite Cinderella story teams of all time because of their legendary 22 or 23 season, I believe. They went 2-10, then the next year turned around, went 10-2, beat USC in the Cotton Bowl, I believe, or the Sugar Bowl or something like that. But I agree. I don't think that's going to be much of a matchup. I don't think that JMU and Oregon's going to be very close. I got to say, though, because I've been saying this in the group chat, how many texts did it end up being between me and Dom arguing yesterday morning about Duke versus James Madison making the playoff?
I didn't answer my phone last night. It was 84.
Yeah, we were arguing back and forth because Dom was pounding the table for Duke to make it over JMU, and I wasn't feeling it.
It was funny because
I love it.
Yeah, no, it was funny because I was trying to get an answer about the show for Robby. And you guys were arguing, and I told Robbie, I was like, the guys are arguing about the selection show. Give them an hour.
I totally agree. I think some of these first-round matchups are going to be relatively uncompetitive. Well, actually, probably only two. Miami A&M is going to be a fantastic game in Kyle Field. And then Alabama going back to Norman again against Oklahoma for the regular season rematch are both going to be fantastic games. Tulane and Ole Miss might not be exciting, and neither will JMU and Oregon, but I will forever be the one to sit here and pound the table and say that these smaller programs should definitely get a chance. I think that's the whole reason they made the playoff the way they did. I think that's the reason NIL was created and passed to the point that it is, because the whole point is to make things more competitive. So I do agree. I think some of these matchups are going to be pretty boring, but I'm all about it. I love it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
See, I would argue with you too, Alex. I think the only main difference I have is, this year specifically, the bracket's just top heavy. If you go on ESPN and you make a bracket in the ESPN app, here's who people have picked. 30% of people think Ohio State, 27% of people think Georgia, 24% of people think Indiana. If you add that up, that's over 82% of people almost that think it's going to be one of those three teams.
And I'm willing to bet that Tech probably has another 8 to 10% of that vote.
Yeah. The bracket overall is just top heavy this year.
Yeah, and there's a couple, could Georgia make it all the way? Yep. Could Tech? make it all the way? Absolutely. Probably outside of Ohio State and Indiana, the best defense in the country besides those two teams.
Don't sleep on Oklahoma's defense.
Oklahoma's this is what I mean. Like there are certainly some teams that could make a run here. I think A&M could make a run. They've played some tough opponents. So hell.
Yeah. So before we predict our things, we're skipping over the fact that the most important game that's going to happen this month and we'll add next month too is don't sleep on Pitt versus Eastern Carolina. Come on.
Let's go, baby.
In the Military Bowl. Let's go. East Carolina doesn't want none. They don't want none.
I'll go on the record and say this. I think that you're going to see, I'll say it because it's my team that I like, but I'll try to keep a biasness out of it, even though it's impossible. I think you're going to see a lot more people tune into Michigan, Texas, or even Vandy, Iowa, than you will for some of these games that are in the playoffs right now. For example, Tulane and Ole Miss.
Everybody's going to watch the Pop-Tart Bowl. Everyone's going to watch that one.
I try to sit down and watch every bowl game. I mean, it's just awesome.
Dude, I didn't even realize Vandy and Iowa were playing in the bowl game this year. That's going to be a crazy game. Honestly, for that game, dude. I love that. Diego Pami, the Iowa defense.
So do we want to go through each round and like we always do and then switch?
Yeah.
I can go through mine in like 2 minutes, so there's no need for it. All the favorites win outside of Miami week 1. All the favorites win in the second round all the favorites win. And then the only difference I have in the semifinals is Indiana wins and Georgia beats Ohio State. Indiana wins the national championship. I mean, I want to pick Tech, but I don't think Tech can compete with Indiana per se to get to the national championship. My bracket's very easy. It's literally 1, 2, 3, 4. I hate doing that, but this isn't like March Madness. This is football where this stuff matters. Your stars matter in football.
Yeah. Well, since Bryce went through his entire bracket, Robby, do you want to go next?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, I think we're going to see Ohio State and Indiana, and I think Indiana's going to beat them. Or I could see Georgia getting there too. I could actually, I'm going to say it's going to come down to Indiana and Georgia, and I think Indiana wins. I mean, some of the other ones, Alabama, Oklahoma, I love watching SEC football. And, I love Alabama. I mean, it's so hard to follow Nick Saban, no matter who you are. Kalen DeBoer took a bunch of grief earlier this year, but nobody replaces Nick Saban. Nobody does. It's like replacing Vince Scully in the Dodgers broadcast booth. He's Vince Scully. Nobody replaces him. So you don't replace Nick Saban. Kalen DeBoer is a different guy with a different resume. And I think he's finally gotten the train rolling in the right direction. So I think they're going to beat Oklahoma, but I think Indiana's too good. They get the future Heisman winner. What's his name? Fernando Mendoza. He's really good. I think they're going to do all right. Ole Miss, Georgia. Ole Miss is obviously has so much turbulence right now. I think Georgia wins that game. Ole Miss is going to destroy Tulane. A&M is going to beat Miami. So I think it's going to be, Ohio State, Georgia. I think Georgia's going to win. And I could see Indiana, either Texas Tech or Oregon. I don't know enough about each team. Is Patrick Mahomes still on Texas Tech?
They have the second closest thing, Jacob Rodriguez.
Yeah, I know he's pretty good. So yeah, I think either team can win it. But I say Indiana, Georgia, and Indiana wins. That's my guess.
I like that.
I like it.
Gee, Alex, I wonder who you're going to pick to win it all.
Well, wait. My bracket is not maybe what some of you might think, because I got some spicy ones here.
Oh boy, it's going to be like March Madness all over again, where I'm going to have to sit in the booth.
Oh my God, is he going to take Texas to the Natty again somehow? They're not even in it. They're not even in it, dude.
Hook them. Hook those horns.
No.
All you Texas fans out there, I like Texas too. Guess what? Don't lose on the road to unranked Florida, and you would have made the playoffs. Don't cry about it.
Yeah. Texas A&M over Miami. That one was easy.
That's not happening.
Get me Oklahoma over Alabama. I think Oklahoma's defense is gonna just punch Alabama in the mouth. Oregon's gonna absolutely demolish James Madison. Give me Tulane to upset Ole Miss
That's insanity.
as the one upset in this playoff.
You do know this is college football, right? Not college basketball.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, just
So
making sure.
then my bowl games give me Texas Tech over Oregon. I actually am gonna be bold here. I don't like it. I really don't. But I'm gonna have Oklahoma beat Indiana.
Whoa.
Well, here's the thing. With anything I've said here, bold wise, and the Tulane one is that's a stretch, but at least with Oklahoma, Alex, did you think Ohio State was going to come out and play the way they did last year in the playoffs? The way they did?
No.
Exactly. You don't know. Oklahoma could come out a bat out of hell and beat Indiana, and it's Indiana's first loss of the year, and it knocks them out. Georgia's going to kill Tulane, so I'm not going to have them go far there. And then Ohio State will beat Texas A&M. So then my final four will be Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Georgia, Ohio State. I will have Texas Tech beating Oklahoma. And then Georgia's run will end as Ohio State wins. And then I got Ohio State winning the national championship because, again, I have this feeling where Ohio State is going to be playing lights out again. They're going to be playing pissed off after that Indiana game. And I think they're going to come out guns a-blazing once again and go back to back.
You know, I'm gonna have to swallow my pride on that and say go Big Ten football.
Yeah. So I got some. It's relatively straightforward. I'm not going to take Tulane to beat Ole Miss like Mike did, but I do think Lane Kiffin leaving right before the playoffs is quite a large distraction, and I think they're going to have to really adjust. So, not going to take Tulane to win, but give me Tulane to cover the 16.5 against Ole Miss. I think that's going to be a closer game than people think. Either way, still going to have Ole Miss winning that one. I think Oklahoma beats Bama again. I just think Oklahoma's just a touch better, and Bryce and I have discussed before the lack of ability to be dynamic on offense for Alabama. It's pretty much Ty Simpson throwing the ball the first half and then absolutely nothing for the entire second half. So give me Oklahoma in that game. Give me Oregon over JMU. As much as I would love to see JMU win that one, it's not going to happen. And then give me A&M over Miami. So again, taking all the favorites here, but I do think Tulane probably covers the spread. And I think it'll be a little more interesting than people think. Next round, that's going to give me Oregon and Tech. Give me Tech. They're just a little bit better.
Rodriguez. Alex, we've been high on Tech all year. You have to take.
Yeah, I mean, I can't back out on Tech now. There's no way I can back out.
We've
on
been
Tech
Red
now.
Raider riding all year,
dude. Since before the season even started, it's insane. Again, Oklahoma good. Not better than Indiana. So give me Indiana. Move on. Georgia over Ole Miss. Ohio State over A&M. Next round, Indiana Tech. Give me a barn burner in this game. I do think Indiana's better. I think Indiana's going to win, but give me Indiana in like a 21-17 kind of football game, I think will be pretty accurate. And then Ohio State, Georgia. God, please, can we not lose to Georgia in the semifinals again? So give me Ohio State.
Does this ring a bell?
Well, I'm getting there, Bryce. So, yep, call me biased all you want. Ohio State, Indiana in the national championship. Give me Ohio State in the revenge game. I believe in the power of the 13-10 energy after your kicker absolutely blows your entire season for you. So, yeah. This is what happened last time, too. Our kicker, Jaden Fielding, blows the game. We lose 13-10 in a heartbreaking fashion, and then we go in and win a natty. So, give me it. Give me a Big Ten national championship. Give me Ohio State to win. Again, in a barn burner. Not quite 13-10, but again, I said what, Tech Indiana? I said Indiana will win like 21-17.
Yep.
Give me Ohio State like 24-20 in the national championship.
You know, it's kind of interesting. So all of you guys have Texas A&M over Miami.
Yeah. I can see the upset though. I can see it.
I just think that A&M played every bottom tier SEC team this year, and they played somewhat of a competent SEC team. They got beat. So that's the only difference I have. I mean, it is cool, Alex. We've talked all year about Oklahoma, Texas Tech. I talked about how bad Tennessee is, and look, they're not even in the playoffs. And, I mean, so far, for the most part, we were right on some of these teams that people were like, are you sure they could even make it in? Like, are you sure?
I went in on Tech just purely based on how many guys they got in the portal. Like that was like the whole basis of my argument preseason was just like these guys are just throwing cash out. It's all that oil money, dude. I'm telling you, it's all that oil money, just throwing it on the table, and all
Little
these guys were like, "I'll take it."
little Landman reference. Billy Bob Thornton must be making a killing down there.
It's a great show.
It is a great show.
But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting playoff. But before we move on to our last stuff, which is NFL, Alex, I almost forgot. We got to pay the bills again.
Yeah, I almost forgot as well, actually. So good call.
We care, Frisch. We care.
We do care, Frisch. We promise. This episode of Tailgate Talks is sponsored by Defrisher Recycling and Junk Removal. Defrisher is a family-run business out of Greenville, PA that provides services such as vehicle purchasing, scrap metal purchasing, appliance removal, junk removal, garbage services, dumpster rentals, curbside pickups, house garage and building cleanouts, and demolition around the Greenville and Pittsburgh areas. If you or anyone you know are in need of these services, check out the links in the description down below. Go to Frisch's website or to their Facebook page, get in contact with them, see if they provide their services in your area today. Thank you, Frisch, for sponsoring this episode of Tailgate Talks, as always.
So, NFL stuff. Like I said, Steelers are probably going to split with Baltimore. But we are on the road to 10-7 and 9-8, guys. It's on track.
Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, Robbie, obviously you're a Steelers fan too. I mean, this year has been quite interesting. If I would have told you at the beginning of the year that at some point in this year the fans at Acrisure Stadium are going to start chanting "Fire Tomlin," would you have believed me?
I mean, I've heard that since I moved here in December of 2012.
But I think it was like the first time, at least chant wise.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. That I have not heard. Yeah, I mean,
Or Renegade being booed.
That's another one. Renegade getting booed.
I was there. I heard it firsthand.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did. Did I think I would hear it? No. So I don't know. I look. Is it time for a change? Could I see it happening? Yeah, I can. I mean, now the chatter's always out there, so I could see it happening. I hope it doesn't, but let's hope. Let's hope they finish strong and make a nice run. That's what I hope.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm gonna say about them is Art Smith. You telling me you move the ball when you let your top 5 all-time passer in National Football League history throw the ball around the field a little bit? Dude, I would have never guessed. Would have never guessed. You let one of the greatest, most supreme talents at quarterback ever throw the football in a game. And he moves the ball.
I will have to say I did appreciate the little discount double check, Sally.
That was awesome.
After the rushing touchdown.
It felt
Really
so
appreciated
good to see that, dude.
Yep.
Haven't seen that in like 8 years, probably. Maybe longer. It's been quite some time.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta say, it was really weird seeing Aaron in a Pittsburgh jersey with the white arm sleeves. Looked an awful lot like Kenny Pickett at some glances. It was really weird.
It did.
It was really weird. Really weird.
He did. Hey, speaking of him, looks like Geno's. I don't know if Geno's gonna be playing against Philly. I did watch his touchdown drive again last night, and he had some accurate throws, and his touchdown pass was a pretty good one to who was it? I think was it Cedric Jackson? I think I want to say
I can't remember.
Kenny threw it to, but yeah, I was texting my one friend, and that's pretty much what he just needs is just a chance just to show something and get a contract somewhere else and have a chance to compete for a starting job. Because like I said, you can have your opinions on Kenny all you want. Of course, he didn't work out in Pittsburgh, but in the National Football League, never say never on somebody's career. Like we said, Sam Darnold, Joe Flacco,
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Hey, he came alive, buddy. Don't you criticize my king.
Hey, you want to know who also did too?
Literally the most shocking score of the entire week. I'm not even kidding.
That was crazy, but yeah. So it does look like Geno's probably gonna play if he's healthy. But whatever. I'm not a Raiders fan. But yeah. So all right. So rapid fire. Alex is out of the playoffs.
I am because of my own recognition of how head-to-head should work. I didn't even think about it until today. Oh,
Tell
I
me,
do
man.
have tiers, by the way. I did manage to do them while you guys were talking about Pirates. So if you want me to rip them real quick, I can. Or if you want me to do them after rep, I don't care.
Here, let's get through rapid fire real quick. Of course, Alex and Haley, their picks, they literally tied with the total amount of picks. But
Just
yeah,
playing
so
for
let's start.
pride.
So right now, so the playoffs is me, Bryce, AJ, Haley. We just don't know what the seeding is yet, and that'll get decided tonight. So yeah, so let's roll through these so we can get Robby out of here. So first game, Falcons at the Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bake Show.
Yeah, give me Bake Show to bounce back.
Yeah. What is it about Kirk Cousins playing on Thursday night? He always loses on Thursday night. Is that what it is?
Something like that.
I picked Tampa Bay in my survivor pool yesterday, so I'm pretty bitter about that. So I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons all in for that.
Oh man. The Browns at the Bears. I'm picking against Shador. I don't care.
Give me the
I'd
Bears.
I would love to pick Shador just to rub it in, but I'm going to go with the Bears.
No, Shador Sanders is not winning a game this year, so no.
Oh man. The Ravens at the Bengals. Oh, that's a coin flip for me.
You kind of need Steelers fans kind of need the Bengals to win.
Yeah, we
Ravens
do.
are struggling. Bengals are coming off a tough game in Buffalo. I think the Bengals do it twice in a couple weeks.
Yeah, give me the
Yeah.
Bengals as well.
Yeah, give me the Bengals. The
I'm going to say
Chargers-
I'm going to say Ravens just because I know how Pittsburgh football is.
the Chargers at the Chiefs. I want to pick the Chiefs, but
I don't
man,
even know anymore, man.
it's not looking good for Kansas City.
What have they lost 2 in a row now?
I
Yeah.
think so.
I have a hard time believing Patrick Mahomes is going to drop 3 games in a row, especially when he's playing a divisional opponent. I'm going to take the Chiefs just out of respect for Mahomes.
That's fair. I can appreciate that, but sometimes all dynasties come to an end, and this might be the
It's
end
true.
of them, right? And they're struggling, so I'm going to go the opposite way, and I think the Chiefs fall.
I said beginning of the year whenever we were talking about it in the chat, the Chiefs don't win their division and the Chargers do. If the Chargers win this game, that puts them one step closer to winning the division. I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yep.
Bryce, you picked Cincinnati, right?
No, I'm taking the Ravens because the AFC North is going to
Yeah.
stay interesting, and one of the teams is going to make it. It's either going to be the 9-8 Ravens or the 9-8 Steelers.
All right, Buffalo at the Patriots. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Buffalo's favored in this game, by the way, which is a little interesting.
It's my cat's opening my door.
Bills won the first matchup. No, Patriots won the first matchup.
Patriots won the first matchup. McDermott in the past couple of years has been pretty good against New England. Buffalo's defense has seemed to get a lot better. I mean, Cincinnati just kind of generally seems to have their number, so I think that's more of a Bengals game plan thing than a Bills defense thing. I just have a hard time believing that the Bills are going to let the division be taken by the Patriots again, so I'm gonna take Buffalo.
I'm going with New England. I don't know. I feel like this is unfortunately another dynasty building for the Patriots, and if they want to do that, they got to win games like this. So I'm gonna go with New England. Bryce, who'd you go with?
I'm going to stay Buffalo because I agree with Alex's analysis.
All right, Commanders at the Giants. Give me the Commanders.
Jaden Daniels back, yeah. Give me this as my upset for this week because the Commanders are not favored in this game.
Who they have? Commanders against who? you
Giants.
said?
The Giants.
Giants.
Oh God, they both stink. Washington,
Yeah, they
I
do.
say.
I think I'm going to stay. Yeah, I'll ride the wave just because, the Commanders are going to bounce back after getting shut out.
So for this next one, give me Kenny Pickett. I'm just kidding. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Eagles.
This is a crazy game. I mean, you have to imagine there's going to be a lot of money on the Eagles, so maybe a Raiders backdoor cover. I don't know. Eagles still win.
Eagles are going to win.
Jets at the Jags. Give me the Jags.
Yep.
I agree.
Easily.
The Cardinals against the Texans. The Texans are on a roll, so give me the Texans.
Agree.
Hot.
Defense is too good.
Yeah, that Texans
good.
defense is starting to look like it could smother some teams in the playoffs. I'm going to go Texans too.
Packers at the Broncos.
Give me the Packers.
Give me the Pack, dude. I want it.
Yeah, give me the Packers.
Packers and who you said?
The Broncos.
In Denver.
Oh, man. Denver's got to come down to earth at some point. Packers are going to win the game.
That's what I'm thinking.
The Lions at the Rams. Give me Detroit.
Nah, give me Stafford to own his old team.
Give me Detroit.
Detroit needs a win. I think they win just because they have to win. Rams are in a much better spot than Detroit is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, significantly better spot for sure.
Panthers at the Saints. Probably Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on this limb just because it's only playoff seeding now. I'm going to say the Saints win this game and the Panthers finally come back to their roots.
Panthers are only 2.5 point favorites here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Saints here.
Saints are going to lose.
Tennessee's awful, so give me San Francisco.
Yep.
San Fran easily.
The Colts at the Seahawks, unfortunately, because Danny Dimes is going to be out for the year.
Yep, they're cooked.
Which just sucks for him. Just absolutely sucks. But give me Seattle.
Yep, same here.
Seattle's defense is on a different level right now. Give me Seattle.
Agreed.
Vikings at Cowboys. Sorry, Bryce. Give me the Cowboys.
Yep.
I think J.J. McCarthy's going to prove that he's not a bust and he's actually a competent NFL quarterback, and he's going to throw for another 3 touchdowns and beat Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. That's my upset of the week, by the way.
Lord. Robbie, who do you got? The Vikings or the Cowboys?
Cowboys. Vikings stink right now.
Dolphins at the Steelers.
Steelers are winning.
Yeah, positive
Dolphins,
momentum,
Dolphins
dude.
in 15-degree weather, no chance.
Yeah, Dolphins suck in the
yeah,
cold.
I didn't think of it. I was gonna say
They suck
for
so
some
bad in
reason.
the cold.
I was gonna say I feel like this feels like that weird, stupid Steelers loss that we're gonna complain about, but then I forgot about the cold with Miami. Yeah, give me Pittsburgh.
I don't know, dude. This really just feels
game
like
too.
Yeah, it's Monday night.
This really just feels like one of those Tomlin games, man.
Yeah,
I'll go
but it's
Steelers.
Tua in the cold in prime time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers only because I don't know if Tua's ever played above or in that level of temperature since he's, Alabama native and played in the South most of his life.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so for everybody watching at home, Alex is going to go through his tier list, but Robbie, this was a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. This was
Thank
fun.
you so much. We appreciate
Guys,
it.
thank you very much. Thank you guys for having me. Have a great
Absolutely.
day, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
You too. Thank you.
See you
Take
later.
care.
All right, so yeah, I'll rip tiers real quick and then we can be done. We're actually doing really, in terms of a normal episode, we're actually doing really good on time. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Okay. Let me fix this real quick and then close that now. Start from beginning. Share. All right. Will I ever change this picture? No.
No,
Tim
Robbie.
runs the tiers. I don't care what anyone says. Tim runs the tiers. All right. Starting off. Is it next year yet? I don't think any single one of these teams gives a single damn about any game they have for the rest of the season. Everything just hurts. Everything hurts. Shador Sanders lost in his best statistical performance so far, even though 75% of his yards were run after the catch. So yeah.
But no,
Next.
because media doesn't want to hear that.
Purgatory. All of these teams are stuck in a perpetual cycle of pain, whether it be because of one really good season followed by a really bad season, injuries, whatever. All of these teams are stuck in a permanent cycle of never-ending pain, particularly you Minnesota Vikings, even though you might have a little bit of hope now. Next, the ripple effect of Adam Gase. Need I say any more? Next, Joe Burrow. If you guys remember, I did this tier with the Cowboys a few weeks ago. Similar situation. The Bengals don't have as good a record as the Cowboys do, but Joe Burrow. Go Burr. Next. I knew it. Hate to rub it in. Now that Daniel Jones has torn his Achilles, feel horrible for the guy. Hope that he has a speedy recovery. God bless. Hope that everything goes well for him in his recovery process. He comes back and continues to ball out. But I called it. They were falling apart before he even got injured, so don't want to hear it. Next. Somehow in the hunt, these two teams are somehow competitive. Just completely shocking to, I think, probably the entire country. Next. Self-destructive behavior. These two teams beat themselves significantly more than any other team actually beats them. The Ravens just have, first of all, terrible officiating luck. Let's be real here. And second of all, just can't stop getting penalized in situations where they shouldn't be penalized, but they do something stupid to be penalized. And then Steelers. Yeah. Next. The actual good AFC South teams. I don't think these teams are any form of Super Bowl contender or anything, but I mean, the Texans and the Jags both are pretty good, and they will be competing to win that division and get a top 4 seed in the playoffs. Good, but not good enough. Actually, could probably say it's quite controversial to have the Chiefs above the Texans and the Jags because they both beat the Chiefs this year, so I will take that into consideration. I did not consider that when I was making these. But again, kind of the Mahomes factor, you never know. I mean, now their path to the playoffs is very, very, very slim. But I think all these teams are good football teams. I think if any of these 4 football teams, I mean, we'll see because the Chiefs are literally about to play the Chargers. But I think any of these 4 football teams play each other at any given time, it's probably a close football game regardless of which team wins. Next, we'll see. These 3 teams all have very good records, have been performing very well this year, particularly the Niners, despite the circumstances with all the injuries they've faced. We'll see. I'm not fully confident in any of their quarterbacks. I don't know if Bo Nix is a I definitely don't think any of these guys are world beaters. Bo Nix, Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold. I'm concerned about all of them in big games under the lights, but like I said, in the name of the tier, we'll see. Next, conference champion ceiling. This does not mean winning the conference championship. This means making the conference championship. These teams all at their best, performance-wise and health-wise, I think can make the conference champion. Excuse me. I think any of these teams can make it to their respective conference championship game. In 3 of their situations, it's the NFC championship, and then for Buffalo, obviously the AFC. So it's certainly possible, and if they get hot at the right time, I can see any of these teams competing to go to the Super Bowl. Patiently waiting. We all just want to see, is this the next dynasty? Is this team actually legit? Is Drake May going to be able to, fight off the pressure in a playoff game, in a tight game? I want to see it really bad. I'm not going to lie. I really want to see this team play football in January. It's going to be crazy to see a home playoff game in Gillette Stadium again, and possibly the entire AFC side of the playoffs running through Gillette Stadium again. I'm very excited, personally. And finally, been there, got the t-shirt. Rams have already done this before. They blasted pretty much everyone in Stafford's first year, worked their way through the playoffs, lit it up against Brady in the playoffs against the Buccaneers, who were also very good, and then beaten upstart Joe Burrow and the Bengals. So that, my friends, is the tier for another week. Gentlemen, feel free to move any teams as you would prefer, make any criticisms, any agreements. Floor's open.
See, I think that we're all going to laugh here in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whenever we say, hell yeah, look at the Chiefs. They just weren't good enough this year to make it. Daniel Jones getting hurt and now the Colts having to rely on a rookie quarterback to win their last 4 games to get them in the playoffs is definitely tough because the Chiefs rely on the Colts' downfall. They also rely on the Chargers' downfall, but they more or less rely on the Colts' downfall. So Chiefs win out, Colts lose out in a 4-game series where the Colts probably aren't favored in any of their games, to be honest with you.
Probably not.
The Chiefs very likely could sneak in at, what are they right now? 6-7? So they could sneak in at 10-7.
10-7.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to say that I think they're going to make it, but I definitely believe that with the injury that occurred with the Colts, which now lets teams go, yeah, all right, go ahead, Riley Leonard, beat us in the air, but Jonathan Taylor's not going to beat us on the ground. So I think it'll be interesting. I think we should screenshot this. And in the future, when the Colts say whenever the Colts are eliminated and the Chiefs somehow sneak into the playoffs and somehow sneak into the division championship and then somehow sneak into the Super Bowl to play the Eagles, we all can just laugh and have a great time.
Hey, I still root for the Colts just for Unk. Just for
I had Daniel Jones in fantasy, and when he got hurt, I was so mad because I'm right on the fringe of playoffs, and the guy I was playing had a horrible week, and all I needed was Daniel Jones to get like 10 points to solidify my win, and he got 2. And now I have to rely on Jake Elliott not getting 12 fantasy points today to make the playoffs.
Oh my God.
Talk about demon hours, buddy.
Yeah, so you're going against Jake Elliott then, I assume?
Yeah, Jake Elliott, I hope you miss every kick today, man. I'm not an Eagles fan by any means. I actually don't like the Eagles at all, just because, Philly thing. But I like it. I think it's a pretty good tier list. I'm thinking that the Browns still have to play the Steelers one more time, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be their Super Bowl. That's the only game they're looking forward to for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when Shador actually has to face TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. If he lights it up and makes the Steelers secondary look good, I'm going to say, well, the Steelers secondary sucks, but what a game you had.
But no, sports media, we're in sports media. We're not allowed to talk negative about Shador because, he's always in the right. And it's either Kevin Stefanski's fault, blah, 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 blah. How about, the Browns lost because it's the Cleveland Browns and Shador's not turning them around.
We're the Cleveland Browns.
And you let Cam Ward and the Titans score 31 points on your head.
Yeah. I would rather listen, Shador had a good game, but he should be doing that against the Titans. Once again, the Raiders game does not prove to me he's a franchise quarterback.
Wow, Mike, you're telling me that he should have good passing stats against 1 and 2 win football teams in mid-December?
Yeah, let's talk about the game he had against San Francisco. How about that?
Or when he came in against Baltimore.
Yeah, whoa, Alex, that Baltimore game, that was Kevin Stefanski's fault. That's Kevin Stefanski's fault. And then, of course, the Raiders game, it's also Kevin Stefanski's fault that he didn't give Shador the game ball and not the guy that had 4 sacks that game. You can't win. You can't win.
Breaking news, the Bengals defense just got worse. Trey Hendrickson is sidelined for 6 weeks after a core muscle surgery.
Damn.
That is brutal.
But before we pay the bills one last time and get out of here, gentlemen, this week marks the final match in the legendary career of John Cena, as he is having his retirement match this Saturday.
Pain.
My childhood is dead this Saturday.
All of our childhoods.
Yeah, and I'll be at Enjoy Wrestling, so I'm not going to see it live. So I'm never seeing a live John Cena match ever again. I'm so sad.
Pain.
Yeah, but you know how much the clips are going to hit in 10 years when my son goes, Dad, who was John Cena?
I couldn't see it. I don't know.
You know how hard those clips are going to hit?
Oh, man. But,
Dad, how good was prime John Cena?
Sit down, son. We got a long day.
We got a long day.
Cut to the Vince McMahon clip.
Nope. All right. Pay the bills.
You know who else has a long day? Every team that plays Vince Michigan McMahon basketball this year, buddy.
No, No, Mike, not that Vince McMahon clip, or that one, or
Pay the
Never
bills.
this episode of Tailgate Talks is sponsored by DeFriscia Recycling and Junk Removal. Again, if you or anyone you know is in need of their services, check out the links in the description down below. Go to DeFriscia's website or their Facebook page. Get in contact with them. See if they provide their services in your area today. Thank you, DeFriscia, for sponsoring this episode of Tailgate Talks. With that being said, gentlemen, any last words?
Go blue, baby. Beat
East,
Texas.
East Carolina is going to go down in the Military Bowl. How Penn State and Clemson got the Pinstripes Bowl, I don't know. And also, we didn't even talk about Matt Campbell is the new head coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Nothing's going to change.
James Franklin Jr.
You're still not winning the national championship in a few years.
James Franklin for white James Franklin. Let's go, baby.
Hey,
The only thing I do have to say to Alex
will admit-
specifically, go ahead, admit it.
I will admit, so far, what Franklin's done for Virginia Tech, the players he's brought in, not bad.
He's a player's coach.
Not bad. Like I said, if James Franklin wins a national championship for Virginia Tech, I don't care. As long as it's not with Penn State, I don't care.
Seeing the
only
Hokie
thing-
Natty would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can't even
The
lie.
one thing I want to ask Alex is, who's your daddy?
Who's mine?
Who's your daddy?
Oh,
I gotta know. I took me a second too.
hey,
13
listen,
to
I
10,
didn't
13 to
get
10
say
just
it.
has a ring to it.
I didn't get the chance to say it earlier. I totally forgot. I know I talked a whole lot of mess about him last year, but Kurt Signetti has fully 1,000% gained my full respect. That team is awesome.
Google him. He wins.
Yeah. But all right, those were my final words. John Cena.
Me too. No more words.
Marcus Freeman, you're an idiot for declining your bowl invitation.
Oh yeah, that.
When join a conference, idiot. Good night, America.